Simply Scuba presents the Deco podcast. Hi everybody, welcome to the sort of re-inaugural Deep Stop podcast. So if you've been following the channel for at least a year, you probably know about the Deep Stop podcast. We used to do this back when we were part of the Simply group, and now we're bringing it back basically.
Yes.
So Deco Stop is. We call it a podcast, but we still record video for some reason. Are we going to try and weed that out eventually?
Yeah. So the original point of so when we first did it, literally when we started this last January, we had audio only, but we spliced in a piece of video, or we used to upload the audio to YouTube, just as a way to help increase ad revenue, because basically at that time. The former boss wanted the ad revenue from YouTube to pay for our subscription that we upload the podcast to. A lot of people got annoyed with the fact that they couldn't see your face or Greg's face. So then I had to put
you can see my face all over the internet.
I know, but
you can see it all the time.
But yeah, so then we started doing video, and then we made an actual audio booth, and then the company went under. So it seems a bit weird that Deco Stop started, and then that's when trouble started happening. So maybe there's podcast
correlation isn't causation, Sean. Don't go down that route. Don't pull on that thread.
But yeah, no. So it's literally we started it. I think we uploaded the first one the 11th of January. Last year.
Oh, wow.
And that was I think we only got about 8 episodes in, and then
and so we
got furloughed, and then that was that. And then when we came back,
I went on holiday.
Yeah, you went on holiday. Yeah. So technically, Mark, it says it in the notes, this is our first Deco Stop podcast together, because it's been you and Greg, and then it was me and Greg. Yeah. And then it was nothing, and now Greg.
And then there was nothing.
And then there was nothing. There was darkness. Obviously, Greg is still working with us. He still works for Simply Scuba.
He does. He just has busy. awful internet.
Yes, awful internet.
Because I was talking.
Busy time.
I was talking to him on Saturday, and he's moved into a new place. He's like spitting distance from the ocean. I was like, oh, dude, that's wonderful. He's like, yeah, but the internet is a bit awful. He says he gets I think they offered him 3 meg broadband or something.
Oh wow.
I was like, 3? I get 108.
All right.
Good lord.
I don't even know what I get.
Not to rub it in, but yeah, it's basically dial up. Jeez.
It's a hamster on a wheel, mate. That's what powers his modem.
It's just a hamster with a teeny tiny little backpack transferring ones and zeros backwards and forwards. That's what Greg's got by the sounds of it.
And he's got an old hamster as well. It's not even a new one. It's basically
he's got asthma.
Dead. Yeah. Oh, bless him. Love you, Greg.
Anyway, so yeah, the Deco Stop podcast. We should probably start talking about it. So it's basically a sum up of the previous week, and we're going to talk about sort of the Simply Scuba channel, and any sort of updates that have happened or are going to happen, anything that we're sort of aware of, and new sort of exciting things happening on the website as well. So new product launches and all that kind of stuff. And we'll also cover some news stories that didn't quite make the cut of Daily Scuba News, because we do a daily story once a day, Monday through Thursday. And if there isn't quite enough of a story to sort of make at least 5 minutes, it's just this happened, then we'll cover it here.
Indeed,
and because it's both Sean and myself, we've got the sort of banter backwards and forwards, so it's a bit more entertaining. We of course won't have Q&A in this show. We used to do Q&A in the Deco Stop podcast 2020, but because we have Ask Mark on a Friday, we're not going to be answering questions in this show, because we already do that for you guys. Yeah, and then there's a final section where sort of Greg and myself, both dive instructors, we'd talk about something sort of scuba diving-ish. We've changed that ever so slightly, where basically Sean's going to pose just a discussion point, and we're going to chat about it. So that's going to be the new sort of discussion point.
And don't forget,
the first.
You've got your Mark's product of the week. Product of the week.
You can put like rainbows up and sparkles.
Yeah. I'll do that for the podcast.
I'm going to mention that.
YouTube. I can hear the rainbows.
I'm going to mention that later. As it says in my script, that's pretty self-explanatory. And the second new feature is we ask Mark a certain question about scuba diving.
Yeah.
They're the two new bits. So it's basically just summing up anything interesting that's happened, and then talking about an interesting product, either something brand new or something that's sort of caught my fancy. And we're just going to discuss one scuba diving topic. So then we're moving on to a bit more topical. That's what Deco Stop Podcast is. So the website updates. So we have quite a few new brands on Simply Scuba. We're just sort of rejigging everything, making sure everything's sort of up to scratch. And because we have a lot of like sister or partner companies with us who deal with sort of other adventure sports, we've basically sort of looked through their catalogs and just gone, ooh, that's a cool brand that would sort of work well on scuba. So the first one is Slow Tide. Slow Tide make towels, but quite funky towels. It's not just a standard towel that you pick up from your local department store. These are very eco-friendly towels, and they have a certain flair for style. They hire a lot of sort of artists and I don't know, people who are good at designing stuff, and they make very sort of interesting styles, whether it's sort of Native American styles or just sort of interesting sort of beach sort of landscapes. And there's one that looks like an old like Victorian rug, which I really like the look of. That's quite fancy.
That is cool.
But they're very eco-friendly, and if you read their sort of backstory, it's amazing. So check them out. Slow Tide. Sea Folly is a Australian fancy ladies beachwear company. So everything from swimwear, bikinis, all that kind of stuff, caftans and hats and beachy stuff that I don't really understand because I have a beard. They're just swimsuits to me. Speedo. If you've never heard of Speedo before, you've just come out of a rock. Speedo, everything from sort of performance swimwear that you can wear sort of whilst diving or underneath your wetsuit, so they'll be nice and body fitting, so they don't get too baggy, to more sort of conservative, just a plain pair of board shorts and stuff. O'Neill, I'm just going to group a whole bunch of these together. So O'Neill, Roxy, Quicksilver, Billabong, and Rip Curl. So all sort of Australian surfing brands. So very flexible wetsuits, board shorts, of course, sunglasses and flip-flops, all those kind of bits and bobs. So more of that sort of surf style, modern, like exposure protection and swimming wear. Oakley, sunglasses, but also board shorts and bits and bobs. Havaianas flip-flops. You'll have known them. It's that. It's one of the Havaianas. Havaianas. Those the flip-flops. Havaianas. You see them everywhere. They're Brazilian, I think. They got the little sort of Brazilian flag. You'll know them if you say flip-flops. That's that kind of image. They were all over like airports and shopping malls and stuff, so you'll have seen them flip-flops. Helly Hansen, Norwegian, I believe, sort of boating brand, but they've sort of branched out, so they make very good sort of maritime cold weather kind of wear, so base layers and coats and all that kind of stuff to stay warm when you're on the boat. So some nice new brands, and we're always looking for new brands as well. So we'll start to add more and more brands as time goes on. As far as the spring update to the Simply Scuba website, so we're going to move a lot of our products over to the new sort of Conscious collection, which is made from organic cotton. Oh, the spring.
Yeah. So
when I started to read that, I was like, "Oh, it's the season of spring update."
No.
Oh, okay. No,
Teespring.
it's because you've rebranded Teespring to Spring, haven't you?
Yeah, I personally did it. I said he dropped them an email, mate. Teespring guys, come on, you sell more than tees now. Even though 90% of our sales are T-shirts from that place. Yeah, they've renamed it to Spring. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. Now, the first sentence makes sense now. So they do a lot of our sort of branded clothing equipment. Now, they don't make anything until you literally press buy now. It's all sort of custom printed per your order, and we used to have give you all the options basically, but what we're basically saying now is actually we're going to change to a more conscious collection, so we're only going to go down the sort of organic cotton and recycled polyester route. It's a touch more expensive, but it's much better for the environment, so we're going more down this route. This isn't going to happen overnight. It's not a single switch that we can flick. There's actually a lot of background work that goes into it, so it's going to take some time, but Sean has sort of told me that it will happen by next Tuesday. No promises. Yeah, no, we literally have to go into every single design and click and uncheck and do all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of sort of background work that goes into it. So you're going to start to see a lot of designs kind of changing or disappearing, becoming limited edition. Yeah, if you want the full range of sort of colours, then get in there now, because a lot of them are going to start disappearing, I'm afraid. So talking about new tees, we also have a new Deco Stop t-shirt available. Is that on live now?
Yeah, it's live now. I made it yesterday.
It is live.
So it's live now, and it's the new Eco brand. So
yep,
it's all on there.
Lovely.
It's got a little logo at the front, kind of like what I've got on my shirt here for people that are watching this on YouTube and on Instagram. Obviously, this isn't the logo. This is a completely different one. And then on the pack, it just says Deco Stop. So we did do a Deco Stop podcast T-shirt last year, but it had Deco Stop podcast. So I've made this one very, very generic, very basic. It's a very basic design, but if you like our little logo, you can have it on a T-shirt with Deco Stop on the back there. It's just a pretty cool little design. Yeah. I did try to do an offer on it, but you can't do single offers. So I was like, no. For the first,
it's all or nothing.
100 people, you get 10% off of this T-shirt. Yeah, no, it is literally all or nothing.
What you could have had just done is just sort of said it, and then people just go, oh, okay, this applies to this T-shirt. Right now,
it's on a sale.
It's too late for that. It's too late. It's too late.
2 weeks' time, it'll go up $20 more. Yeah.
Anyway, so channel update. So the Simply Scuba channel, so YouTube and whatnot. What's happening, Sean?
Nothing. No.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, we're not going to upload anything.
No, we're not. So the obvious thing is Daily Scuba News. So obviously we started that this week. Obviously reverting back from Daily Deco. I think it's gone down really, really well. I think the viewership's going well. Moving the times to 5 o'clock, I think, has worked. Certainly in the first couple of hours of a video. That's normally when Daily Deco went uploaded the first 2 or 3 hours. It was very hit or miss whether it would work or not. But conveniently, the video goes live when the majority of our people or our subscribers are on YouTube. So funnily enough, they get very good views pretty much from the word go. Yeah, it's funny that. But yeah, I think it's going really, really well. I'm enjoying doing it again. Not that I didn't mind the banter. I love the banter that Daily Deco had, but it's nice to have that structure. And there is a reason why we are going to have that structure, or why we need that structure, because of sponsorship. But we'll get that further down the line, which is pretty cool. Again, the timing we changed for surface interval and deep dive to 5 o'clock seems to be doing really, really well. Obviously, Surface Interval is sponsored by our sister company, or one of our sister companies, one of our many sister companies, Empora. Bit of a news update on that. They are tweaking their website as of now, and they are working on scuba diver articles, aren't they, Mark? So scuba-related stuff will be, because they've got some scuba stuff on there, but basically because at the moment they're very seasonal based, so they're very focused on their ski and snowboard because it's winter and their winter hiking gear. So the site itself is very dedicated to that. So that's kind of obviously taken precedence, which it would do. But they are the top henchmen, the top dogs of Empora have told myself and Mark that that there's going to be more scuba articles. I know that's very loosely based to YouTube, but that's just the segue that they sponsor the Saturday Surface Interval. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. What else have I got on here? Yeah,
product overviews.
Yes, so product overviews are now hitting the mark. No pun intended there, Mark.
Yeah.
Ding, ding.
Yeah, the bruises are going away.
Yeah, they when they first dropped, a lot of people didn't understand what they were all about. A lot of people, even though you say it in the intro, I think we said this before, like, you don't have the product at hand because we're working out logistics. COVID-19 has screwed up the transportation, or whether you can physically go and pick it up, or whether they can actually go and send stuff to you. There's a whole logistical side because we're a very big company, so we're working on that. But it seems that the overviews themselves are doing really, really well, which is good. This week, obviously, certain things are going to be happening, so there's actually going to be some product reviews going live this week, because this goes live on Saturday. I'm going to say it. Was it the Paralens Vaquita?
Yes.
Our review of that goes live today at some point. I haven't even edited it yet.
when it's edited and uploaded.
It will go live today, Saturday, at some point. Probably before the Surface Interval. Well, obviously before the Surface Interval. There's no point in doing it after that. But that's exciting. And then there's a couple of other product reviews that are going to be going live this week, as well as the overviews. Hopefully, we'll still be doing the overviews for the time being until we get a nice backlog of product reviews. Yep. So then, when there's enough product reviews that we can safely go, right, we don't need to do these overviews anymore. We can stop them. But like I was saying earlier, the overviews are actually doing pretty well now. People realise what they are, and they realise kind of the scenario that we're in. There's not a lot, we can do about it, and people are enjoying them. In fact, there was a comment on one of them. Again, I think he spoke to us on a question time, but he watched your product overview of, I think was it a BCD? I can't remember. Anyway, he watched your product overview, Mark, and then based on your overview, he bought that product. He didn't buy it from us because he wasn't from the UK, but he went to his local dealer, which is fine. That's what it's about. It's giving you the information to buy it from whoever, basically. The actual overview helped out with that, so that was awesome. I think he put a comment on there as well to say about it, which is awesome. And that's about it.
I mean that's the whole point of them. We want to talk about the products and sort of be like an informational channel to help you make these kind of purchases. And at the moment I can't get hold of the actual physical products, but I can still talk about them. That's what product overview is. It's basically until I can get my hands on the actual stuff. I'm still going to talk about it.
Yeah, and of course, like with our reviews and stuff, like Mark's done a backlog of a specific brand, so there will be a point where it will be one brand heavy at the moment from the reviews, but down the line that won't be the case. It's just we've been given this opportunity to film, or Mark's been given this opportunity to film some bits, so we need to get out of that. But again, we're not going to ram that down your throat because we don't want our channel to be we don't want it to turn into a certain scuba diving brand channel for a week or two, so that will be spread out. Well, that's the plan anyway. That's it really. Like the time slots are going well. Daily Scuba News is doing well. Empora, as I say, that's getting updated. And overviews, they're all sound, mate. They're all sound.
Yeah.
So the next section is news. We would normally do, with this news section, obviously we're going to do a couple of stories, but we would also normally talk about any updates to previous Daily Scuba Newses. My two stories don't inquire any updates because the filmmakers, I do believe, is still on trial from that Daily Scuba News. And when I spoke about the Titanic and the Marconi machine, or however you pronounce it,
Marconi,
that's is that racist? Is that Italian tone? I don't know.
No, it's an Italian name.
Okay, Marconi. Obviously that got cancelled, so I've got no updates. Were there any updates to your stories, Mark, or is it pretty much?
No, so I had two news stories. The first one was a 300-year-old shipwreck that was discovered off the southern coast of Norway, and when they tracked it back and sort of found out which ship it was the Providence, and the reason why it sank was it was in really calm waters, but basically the entire Irish crew, they were all drunk. And it just ran aground. No one died. Everyone made it off. They even had time to take the sails and the rigging and the anchor and sort of get that off. And then the ship sank. So they've recovered quite a few artifacts, and they say they're actually in pristine condition, but they've left a lot down there for other divers to explore. But they've also put up sort of signs around it, basically saying, right, this is a protected heritage site or something. So if you're down there thieving and you're going to lift something for your mantle place, then there's really no excuse, and you will be prosecuted for it. The other news story was a dive center in Pattaya, which I think is in Thailand, and obviously they haven't been able to sort of take tourists out and do classes and stuff. They haven't been able to do that during lockdown, so they've actually stepped it up a notch. They've been doing all the usual sort of cleanups of the local area, cleaning up trash and all that stuff, making the whole town sort of a bit nicer. But they've also been raising money. They raised about 60,000. Was it 60,000? I think it's 60,000 baht, which is about £2,000 or about $1,500, and they put that towards making food bundles and handing it out to the really needy sort of people in their area, which is just fantastic. Yeah. They really stepped it up a notch.
Cool.
But as far as small news stories that we do have, so the first one, well, both of them Sean found. The first one comes from the Maldives, and there's a resort in Nunu Atoll in the Maldives. Nunu. And they're basically, obviously they can't get tourists in, so they're trying to get anybody to come to them, and they're basically offering, what was it, 3-month package, and you can work from there whilst on holiday as such. That's how I kind of understand it.
As far as I'm concerned, basically you can't really go on holiday at the moment, or if you can travel, if you do go on holiday, there's not a lot to do because things are shut down. No matter where you are in the world, it's not going to be running at 100%. So what these guys and girls are doing over at, I'm going to try and pronounce. Oh, my tablet just went giant on me. It's a five-star resort. It's called the Movenpick. It's not called the Movenpick. There's 2 dots over the O. I don't know what that indicates.
Movenpick.
The Movenpick resort. But basically, so they're offering a 90-day package where normally you'd only have a week or two because it's a holiday resort. And it's a bed and breakfast. So obviously you get accommodation, you get beds, breakfast. Sorry, I don't know why I said bed. And then basically you can use, you have free, you can go to their villa, good internet access. The only real downside is that it's going to cost $44,000 for you to stay there for 90 days. But that is nice.
For 2 of you.
Just imagine. Well, do you reckon Internet Fusion have got that for us? We can go to the Maldives for 3 months.
Hey, don't ask, don't get.
Just imagine doing Deco. We're just doing our board shorts in the sea.
Yeah. Day 56 of.
It's. I mean,
Just bring a whole bunch of product samples. We'll do a whole bunch of videos out there.
Exactly.
So that $44,000. So yeah, that includes bed and breakfast, seaplane transfers, because the Maldives is just a whole bunch of little islands, and you just get a seaplane to transfer between them. Daily yoga sessions, which is kind of cool. 25% off of food, so you still have to pay for your food. Granted, it is 25% off, but still, you got to pay that on top. Drinks, I presume, are included because it just says drinks. I don't know whether that includes alcoholic drinks or not.
You could use the tap water.
Yeah, drinks. It's water. There you go. Multiple drinks. You have to pay for your flights, meals, bar. There you go. Bar. 10% service charge, 12% goods and service tax, and $6 per person per night government green tax. So all in, that's just over $1,000. So yeah, if you got the money and you fancy 3 months in the Maldives,
that does sound nice. That does sound nice.
There are worse places to be in this world during this lockdown.
Yeah,
but that's a little rich for my blood, unfortunately.
It would not surprise me though, because obviously this whole COVID scenario isn't going to go anytime soon. Even like they say with the UK, we're all getting all vaccinated, but until every probably human being is vaccinated on this planet, or at least the majority are, travel's going to certainly be very different. So it wouldn't surprise me, like more you get the villas and stuff, they're going to be doing that sort of move, where you can work from home, have a work from home holiday work. I don't even know how you would
work from villa
but you're on holiday. So rather than you're going to, when you go for your daily walk, you walk the dogs, or you go to the shop and back, or you walk around town, you can go to a nice beach.
Yeah,
or
just
a nice
go for a
French
dive
town.
on your
go for a
lunch
dive.
break.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, the next news story. Next news story is tragic, Sean.
Yeah.
I don't know why you added this. This is terrible. So it starts off with a juvenile fin whale, which was it was just like in a harbour or something.
Yeah.
So it swam into Sorrento Harbour. Yeah, in Italy on the 17th of January. And it reportedly rammed its head into the walls several times, and people were quite concerned about this. So they got the Coast Guard involved, and they managed to sort of convince it to swim out of the harbour back into sort of open ocean, and divers sort of followed it as it sort of went out, just to make sure that it didn't come back, basically, and it basically led them to its dead mother on the bottom, which is just tragic. This is a terrible story.
This is the start of a Disney movie.
Yeah, that is. It's very Hans Christian Andersen, dead parent. Yeah, and is it Hans Christian Andersen?
I don't know. What Disney is?
Oh no, they're
bad.
Yeah, but most of the sort of Disney stories are based on like grim fairy tales and stuff.
No, they're not. They're completely original. Walt Disney made them up himself. He did not steal anything. He did not infringe copyright or use public access or whatever they called it, free reign or whatever.
I can't remember the word of it. Yeah, 75 years old or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the Coast Guards, they used a couple of motorboats, and they effectively lifted the dead mother fin whale, and they brought it to shore so that they could study it, basically. And apparently it's like the largest, or at least one of the largest specimens like ever found. So the Mobile Environmental Laboratory has carried out an autopsy to determine the cause of death. They have yet to announce the cause of death. And then the article continues basically saying that, a lot of it is sort of boat strike. There's one natural predator of the fin whale, and that's orcas. But looking at the carcass, I can't see any obvious sort of killer whale attacks. But I can only see it upside down, so who knows. But yeah, awful story. do better next week, Sean.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's so sad.
Okay. Well, let's swiftly move on then. Let's not make our audience cry any more than what they have. Mark, new section.
They've already left.
Mark's product of the week.
Oh, let's get some auto tune on that. So yeah, my product of the week is the new Paralens Vaquita. It's basically a torch, only it's not. It's a camera. So yeah, the Vaquita is the upgraded version of the Paralens. That's where it gets complicated because the brand is called Paralens and they came out with a camera called the Paralens. So now this is the Paralens Vaquita, which is an upgraded version of the Paralens. So this films in 4K, which is pretty much the industry standard now. It's a little bit chunkier compared to the previous version. It's all black. They've basically learnt from all of their sort of mistakes and shortfallings in the previous version, and now they brought out the Vaquita. So yeah, this films in 4K, up to 240 frames per second. So if you're filming like really quick stuff, you can dial down the resolution and up the frame rate to 240. This has GPS built into it. So if you're diving somewhere fantastic, you're taking footage, what you can do is basically like geo-tag that footage, and then when you upload it to the app, it basically tags that area, and then you can go and sort of watch everyone else's footage from that area, which is really, really cool. One of the best features about it, though, is that it has DCC, which is like dynamic color control, and that basically means because there's a built-in depth sensor, it adjusts the white balance as you ascend and descend in the water. So instead of the deeper down you go, the bluer all your footage gets, or having to go to a certain depth, white balance the camera and then start recording again, this one does it all automatically. And you can actually put the information like the depth and the water temperature, you can set those to sort of put it as an overlay on the video footage, just as something sort of extra interesting. But when you upload the footage and the dive data, like the water temperature and the depth and all that kind of stuff, you can also opt to have that information be sent to some of the partners of Paralens, who do scientific research on the world's oceans, and sort of just basically is giving them more data points so that they can add that into their algorithms and work out, global warming, all that kind of stuff, ocean temperatures in different areas. They basically have another researcher with recording devices, so they're getting more and more data. Another nice thing about this is that because it's shaped like a torch, and I keep calling it a torch even though it's a dive camera, is that you can mount it kind of anywhere you want. So it comes with a like a silicone like grip ring that holds onto it, and at the bottom of that it has a tripod mount, so you can use it as a traditional camera, but you can also mount it to like the side of your mast to have a POV shot. And because it has a screen on the back, you can actually line up your shots and see what you're actually taking footage of. The only thing that I found that it struggles with is close-up stuff. So it can't, it doesn't focus very well on things that are particularly close to it. It's better for sort of open vistas and filming other things at a distance. But otherwise, it's a tough little camera. Definitely check it out. I imagine Sean's going to put links and all sorts of bits and bobs down below. Yeah. If not, just go to simplyscuba.com and just search for Vaquita. So if you do it in Google, it will come up with a dolphin or a porpoise.
Yeah, cool. What I'll do, YouTube, it will be pinned in the comments and it would have popped up as you're talking about it. If you're listening to this on the podcast, the link will be in the description. But I guess it all depends on where you listen to your podcast, whether you can access to that. Yeah. And if you're watching this on YouTube, simplyscuba.com, type it in. Or go to
the easiest way is literally or just go to simplyscuba.com and search for Paralens or Vaquita. Yeah. And you'll find it.
Cool. Excellent. Well, that was fun.
Uh-huh.
Was it nice to actually have a product to touch and because you obviously
I know it's. Yeah, it's weird not talking about a picture And just like reciting things from memory, it's nice to actually have something tangible in front of you to physically show. It's getting back to the good old days. Not quite, because I don't have a video studio anymore. I just have my dive locker downstairs. But,
do you mean we, Mark?
We're getting there.
We, not you. We. The royal eye. We. I don't know where I was going with that. Right, so the next section, the new section of the week, is this week's question mark. So this week, and if you've read the title of the video, you guys will know what the question is. If you haven't,
it's what they've been waiting for.
Yeah, it is. Don't worry, there's timestamps. For YouTube, there is timestamps in the description. I'll put them in, don't worry. So this week's question is, Mark, how could you be a good dive buddy?
How to be a good dive buddy?
Yeah. How to be a good dive buddy?
The best merits of a dive buddy are someone who is calm and collected, someone who says something when they see something, because the whole point of your buddy is to make sure that, so my buddy is looking out for me and I'm looking out for my buddy, and if I see something wrong with their kit, I see if I can fix it and I alert them to it. I don't say anything and ignore it and hope it will go away, because it could become a problem in the future. So if I see that a strap is twisted over or something isn't twisted on, or just something, if anything comes up in the back of your mind of like, I'm not quite sure about that, then just say something. The worst that will happen is that they'll say, oh no, that's fine, I'm aware of that, perfect. But if you don't say anything, then I've heard stories of divers, they do a rollback entry, a negative entry, so they'll go sort of straight down, they won't float on the surface, off the back of a rib, but their air wasn't turned on, so they had like 3 breaths of air from their hoses and that was it. So terrible. So if you see something, say something. That was what makes a good buddy. And someone who's calm and collected. You want that that rock that's kind of next to you, that's got everything sorted, and they sort of have everything that they need, and that they're aware of their surroundings. If you've got your blinkers on and you're only focusing on what you can see and you're only looking at the wreck or the reef or whatever it is, but your buddy's entangled on something 20 meters away, you're not a good dive buddy. So every so often you just kind of glance over, and that's why I like using torches for communication, because you can see that beam and you can always sort of see it out of the corner of your eye, so you don't have to stay on their hip, but it's nice to be in a couple fin kicks away from them, because if something happens, then you need to be sort of fairly Johnny on the spot. But with torch communication, you can kind of see your buddy's mannerisms. If the torch is moving around and it's also very calm movements, then you know that they're probably going to be fine. If you suddenly can't see their torch beam, or you see it's very erratic, then you know that something's wrong. So always in the back of your mind, to be a good dive buddy, just always have like a little portion of your brain on your buddy, making sure that, okay, are they still there? Are they still okay? And redundancy as well. If you can, try and bring as much redundancy. So we're talking about cutting devices just in case, redundant air supply if you can, backup masks as well, because the worst can and will happen, and the best buddy is someone who has a spare whatever it is. Now obviously you're not going to bring a spare pair of fins or a spare everything, but kind of do your best to have the basics. As long as you have an octo, an alternate air source that works, and enough air supply and a backup mask, those are your 2 real staples. And another thing about a good dive buddy is someone who doesn't go into the red. So if your pressure gauge is getting down to 50 bar or getting into that sort of that red section on your SPG, then you're ending the dive. If you're sort of exiting the water with like 10 bar, then there's something wrong, because that red section, that's for you and your buddy to do a safety stop. So never go into it. That's a sign of a bad buddy if they that exit the water with less than 50 bar.
Okay, cool. If you guys and girls have got any questions, well, not questions, well, I guess it is a question, but like a generic question, not anything specific, like what Mark's just said, let us know in the comments on YouTube. If you're listening to this on the podcast, go over to YouTube and drop a comment. That would be great. And that's it. Today, the first Deco stop of 2021 has finished, or will finish in a couple of minutes, should I say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope everyone enjoys it. I hope the people that are missing daily Deco enjoy this newer version or older version of the show. It's pretty cool. What are my little notes? What are my little notes on the outro? Let's have a look here. So, of course, this is a podcast, so it's available wherever you get your podcasts. So, have fun with that. Mainly, I think our majority of our audience is Spotify. I was going to say Shopify, which Mark used to do quite a lot. That's pretty cool. So basically, if you can, if there's a liking feature on where you get your podcasts, if there's a follow button, please hit that, please like that. The more information we can get about our audio side of things, the better we can build up upon it. Obviously as well, if you're on SoundCloud, this is on SoundCloud. I do believe, again, this is mainly for our YouTube audience, but if you're listening to this, head over to our YouTube channel. On the main channel page, at the top, we've got links. I think our SoundCloud is linked into that. If not, just type in Simply Scuba on SoundCloud and you'll be able to find us. And again, it's not just this podcast. If you've been listening to our daily Scuba news, that is also like a micro podcast as well. So those stories have been going live as an audio treat for you guys. This video is going to drop on Instagram, or this podcast, should I say, is going to drop on Instagram. So if you're watching this on YouTube right now, or you're listening to this, just watching this on YouTube, it already dropped on the podcast. It went Friday afternoon, because obviously we don't have a daily Scuba news, so this went live at 5 over on there on Friday. But also, it's showcasing, it's premiering on our Instagram TV page on Friday at some point, depending on whether I want to when I upload it, because you can't schedule these types of videos yet on Instagram. So
you have to physically press the button.
So this will go live probably at some point in the afternoon. But the reason why we're doing that is because we want more interaction on Instagram. So Instagram's a fantastic platform. I think the channel itself, since we've come back, has grown. It's getting bigger and it's getting better. The interaction's getting like it was back in the day on YouTube when we first started getting some proper interaction on there. So if you basically want to watch Deco Stop before Saturday, jump onto our Instagram, hit that follow. Then when you watch the video, give it a heart, and then whack it in your stories as well if you'd enjoyed it, just to help spread the word, because we're nearly at 5,000 followers on Instagram. We're literally, I think we're like 6 away or something, not even that, maybe 4 away till we're getting. So by the time maybe this goes out, hopefully we've completed that. If not, please go follow us on Instagram. Do us a solid. And I run that account as well, so that the bants that we have in the YouTube comments, I'm going to start implementing that on our Instagram page. So there's going to be a lot of bants going back and forth, which is going to be good. And again, if you haven't followed us on Instagram, our daily Scuba news, that goes live pretty much around about early or late morning to middle of the day anyway, Monday to Thursday as well. So yeah, check it out there. That's it. I'm not going to do the sign off because it's weird, because that's what you need to do, Mark.
Any questions, comments, queries, corrections, let us know down in some of the YouTube comments below. If you do have any questions for us, just use the hashtag AskMark, and that just makes it a lot easier for us to find them. Don't forget to head over to our Springs, Tea Springs. It's weird. It's weird calling it Springs.
Yeah.
There'll be there'll be a link down in the YouTube to our Teesprings account for some Simply Scuba merchandise. Don't forget to check out our website simplyscuba.com for the latest and greatest scuba diving equipment. Thank you for watching, and of course, safe diving.
Stay classy, scuba divers.
The Deco Stop podcast is produced and recorded by Simply Scuba, the UK's #1 dive store. Visit today at simplyscuba.com.